We should turn this into a musical.
Go fuck yourself. I hate you so much.
Now that you say that, that'll bring the dimension that I think it's missing.
Yeah, to the great white way.
That's the note. That's the note I've gotten most consistently. Where are the songs?
You know, we've talked an awful lot about a lot of moods and their reflections in terms of music. But now we come to a mood that is the product of our present generation.
Yo! What's up,
What
man?
up, what up, man? How you doing, bro?
I'm not gonna lie, like, I mean, this is the point where I have to just like tamp down my insecurity about this whole part of the process where, like, you know, you send the script out,
Right.
you give the people like, hey, I think you'd be great for this role or maybe two different roles, and then when you don't hear back,
Right.
oh no! Like,
Oh no!
I just assumed that they hate
you.
They now hate me as the person who wrote it, and that like they'll never speak to me again.
She might read the script and see and like make it to like page 4 and be like, "This is not Christ-like."
Yeah, bro. I mean, you know. We just have to be good with it. Like, you know, I wanted to preface to all of the people I sent it to, like, with acting offers, so to speak, that like this is an early draft and we are receptive, obviously, to your notes and concerns. I'm aware that perhaps some intentions aren't coming across correctly.
Right.
So please don't like judge those as this is how I want to present it.
Right.
But tell me why you think it's problematic so that we can figure out how to adjust it to reflect what we wanted to achieve. By no means are we going to get anywhere if, like, you know, black females are fucking pissed
off about it.
You know, two key characters, you know, like, be like the most hypocritical. It'd be the most hypocritical messaging. You know?
Oh God.
We want to talk about like equity, but we also want to stereotype and degrade, you know,
as many people as
certain
possible.
people in that culture.
Oh hell no!
The good news is that I have sent it to several people, non-actors, some that are familiar with like my canon, so to speak. So. Yeah, I've sent it out, but it's a very like small group this time and very strategic because I wanted them to give me their feedback for a specific reason. Like my district attorney friend who gave me the concept of looping. I mean, I just got a text from him this morning. He's like, I'm at page 60 and this is fucking great.
I am the smartest man alive!
And I was like, how does it read? Does it read long? And he was like, dude, it's a fast read.
Nice.
And I've gotten that from 3 different people. They're like this. Yeah, I'm like blazing through this. So
okay, good.
It may not be like that 170 pages is 170 minutes.
Right.
We might actually be clocking like 20 seconds a page, which puts it right in there.
Okay.
Know? And if that's the case, like we will be able to read this in 2 hours. And if we're fudging it to 2.5, like I don't think people would be too pissed about it.
No, I don't think so either.
As long as they think it's funny and entertaining, like so it just only sucks when you're at the table reading, you're like, oh my God.
Oh God, bruh.
This is the worst writing ever. Have you sent it out to anybody, like as far as just to like even read it?
I sent it to my boy Barry. I sent it to him and I said like, hey man, I just like your thoughts on this because he's a dude that I respect. And he knows me and he knows that I like weed.
That can kill a table read, because I was with one where they gave this dude, the person that was supposed to play this character, who was very significant and also like had a little bit, you need to kind of have a sense of cold reading if you're going to be the one that tackles this dude. They handed it off to a guy who was, I swear to God, like sounding it out.
Today, Junior?
I was like, I'm not in charge, but I was trying to like, telepathically like look at the moderator and be like, bro, just politely say, all right, so we're gonna shuffle up the casting a little bit.
Yep.
And just move people around for the love of God, because this dude took fucking forever.
Yep.
And it did like destroy the whole thing.
Yep.
And that's where I realized like it always seems so cruel when you heard like, yeah, that person was fired at the table read. And at first I was like, that's harsh. How do you do that? I know.
Now you know. Yeah, now you know.
The table read can be very telling.
This sucks more than anything that has ever sucked before.
I still remember the moment in American Gangster with Denzel. I still remember how legitimately affected I was at the scene when he buys his like super hot wife that mink jacket. And they go to the boxing match, and it's, whoever it was, I can't remember if it was Sugar Ray Leonard or whoever, because obviously these are all fake people playing real people. And so he like says that if it wasn't Ali, it was Sugar Ray Leonard. He's like, yeah, man, what's up, blah, blah, blah. And the wife's got the beautiful mink jacket on, and like he was so skeptical about buying his wife this mink jacket, obviously because he's like a fucking cocaine and crack, kingpin. And that fucking weasel ass Russell Crowe FBI agent is looking through the photos, and he's like, yo, that's like a $1,000 mink coat. Who is that?
Who the fuck is this guy?
And that was the thing that clocked the FBI to Frank White, is that Frank his entire life had only ever worn a black suit, white shirt, black tie. Because he never wanted anyone to know who the fuck he was. And he flexed because he had this hot ass wife that he had to like, keep, she's got to feel good, right? He bought her this mink jacket. And the scene that I'm talking about is once he figures out that it was the jacket that tipped off the FBI, he rips that shit. He didn't say shit. And he walks to the fireplace and he throws it in there. And Denzel just sits there looking in the fire. And I remember watching that shit and I was like, yeah, I felt the pain in there of like, even though this dude's very clearly a drug dealer, very clearly fucking his community up while also giving away turkeys, doing all the things that we know there's good and bad in that shit. And we know that the federal government was a part of that, all of that to say. Just like, I felt the pain just as an individual human being of like, yeah, if everything that I built died because of $1,000 mink jacket, I'd be fucking pissed. I don't want that shit.
As soon as you stick your head out, somebody wants to chop it off. Like, might as well, the best thing you can be is anonymous.
Anonymous.
This is anonymous.
Grace is studying to do her yoga thing, the same thing that Kelsey did. She's in the process of doing that. And she came up to me the other day and she was basically like, yo, Kyle, like, sometimes she gives me shit for, not like taking care of myself as much as I should, which is, fair enough. You're my wife and you should tell me that. Yeah. But she said, that gave me credit because one of the yogi people that is like very, very famous, I can't remember the woman's name or if it was a guy.
What is our unique way through? Because if you get phony holy, it ends up kicking you in the butt. You've got to stay true to yourself. But
she basically said like this dude or girl is very, very well respected. And his book that he wrote that all of these yogi people like read or whatever is something about the title of it is like My Journey to Be Nobody. Yeah. And the whole point of this person, like this super yogi person, was that the only way they could ever find, enlightenment or whatever that spiritual journey is the fact that they realize that the only time that it really matters is if nobody knows you. If like everything you do that you do for you and you do for your community, you do for whatever, if no one knows who you are and you still have the balls to do that shit, that's when like you are actually like living at this like super level or whatever.
You can't buy into someone else's trip. You can't go on anyone else's trip. You can only go on your own trip until you find out it's all our trip. And when we get home, we all get back with great tales of trips, except we all took the trip together.
Similar to, the idea that like energetically you're just trying to find your place in like the natural flow of things. So it's like, if you were trying to join the ocean, like you become part of the wave,
Right.
Nobody notices you. But if you remain like this rock or whatever, like shit's just gonna keep pounding up against you.
Come back into the sea of silence.
I don't know if I'll ever reach that point, but it's a nice.
It's a nice thing to think about.
Yeah, really. It's a fun thought experiment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something to strive for.
Yeah, the first $1 million check that I ever see, I don't know what I'm gonna do. There's very few things that I own that if I lost them, I would be like, oh my God, I lost that thing. I just deliberately don't buy things that if I lost them, I would care about, because I've lost so many things over the course of time that I cared about that I'm jaded and I just don't even bother anymore.
Yeah, that's exactly. I can't. It started with glasses in high school where they used to cost like $500. You remember this?
Bro,
and
tell me.
Right? I'd be like, these are the best glasses. Why would I ever forget these? I'll never lose these. And then somehow, some way, like 2-3 pairs in a row. Oh God.
After the In the Heights tour was over, we had like 3 weeks before our FSA money was gonna die for like our little healthcare money, because we weren't like gaining healthcare weeks because it was a non-union tour. I didn't use any of mine because I never got sick. So I had $1,000 of healthcare money. So like as soon as the fucking tour was over, I went to the dentist. I hadn't been to the dentist in years. I went to the dentist, and then I was like, you know what I'm gonna get? I'm gonna get prescription sunglasses. Bam, because I got this money, baby. Like I've always had to like wear glasses like this with the little stupid shade on top, or just like never wear sunglasses, one of the other. So I went to the fucking Lens Crafters.
Lens Crafters, because sight.
I got Ray-Bans, like the nicest pair. They were white on the outside, black on the inside, with the like double pane lenses. I spent the whole fucking like $800 that was left over from not going to the dentist.
Ray-Bans. Look at this. See that? Look at that. Ray-Bans. Yeah, peace out, dog.
Day one, we went to the Atlantic Ocean, and my dumbass was like, you know what? I'm gonna wear my glasses in the ocean because I'm a fucking baller. And I turned around and a wave hit me, and them shits were gone.
Oh my God.
They fell off my face into the water, and I never ever saw them again.
Oh shit. I mean, that happened to me with $20 sunglasses, and that ruined my day. So I don't even know.
And like $700 pair of sunglasses. It was the worst. And that was it was that moment in my brain where I was like, see, I grew up lower middle class. I need to stay lower middle class.
Right.
If I even get cocky, like if I even have money for a second and I get cocky, the universe is just telling me like, you weren't meant for that, bro. Even if you get money, you better Warren Buffett that shit. You better Steve Jobs that shit and wear the same fucking shirt every day, because I'm gonna show you what's up, you bitch.
And take them goddamn sunglasses off. Take the goddamn sunglasses off. Damn it, man.